gentlemen, welcome back. This is CJ UFC Picks, the Smoke Sesh. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe right now. Do me a favor and subscribe, like the video, and comment on the video who your picks are for UFC 296. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about here tonight on this channel. UFC 296, Edwards versus Covington for the welterweight championship of the world. There's two title fights. We also have Pantoja versus Royval. That's going to be a great fight. A stacked card for UFC 296. But first, let's recap what happened last night on UFC Fight Night Vegas 83, Song versus Gutierrez, which was a okay card for us. We went 7 out of 11. That means we got 7 picks correct and 4 of them incorrect. So let's go over them real quick, ladies and gentlemen. First fight was Talita Alencar versus Ariane Amanda. I did pick Talita Alencar to win by decision, and that is exactly what happened. Talita Alencar won by decision. I won that bet, and I won that pick. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, I did bet and picked Tatsuro Taira to defeat Carlos Hernandez. Inside the distance, I got that at minus 140, which was a great line, by the way, and he did win by knockout in the second round. The third fight, ladies and gentlemen, was a subpar fight, and I thought it could have gone either way. I did have Stephanie Egger to win against Luana Santos, but unfortunately I got that pick wrong. I got that bet wrong, and Luana Santos did win that fight by decision. Next fight that I got wrong, ladies and gentlemen, was Milky Costa going against Steve Garcia, and Steve Garcia won that fight in the second round. Very impressive win for Steve Garcia, and he's someone that I have to look out for in the lightweight division. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, that I got correct was Hyung Sung Park. He defeated Shannon Ross via knockout TKO in the second round, and I think Shannon Ross should not be in the UFC anymore. I believe this is his 4th loss in a row, so that's not a good look for him. He should be cut from the UFC. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, was a banger. Kevin Josette versus Keenan Song. I did pick Josette to win, and that's exactly what happened. Kevin Josette won that fight, and he won by decision. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, was Andre Muniz versus Jun Young Park, and I did pick Jun Young Park to win because he was on a 4-fight winning streak. And every time that I did not pick him, he won the fight. Now that I picked him, he lost the fight. And he lost to a decision to Andre Muniz. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, was Tim Elliott versus Suma Darji. And Tim Elliott, stepping up on short notice, won via submission in the very first round. Very impressive win for the veteran Tim Elliott. And I did pick Tim Elliott to win that fight. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, was a disappointment for me because this guy was my dog of the card. I thought he was going to win the fight, and that was Jamie Mullarkey. Jamie Mullarkey lost via knockout TKO to Nasrat Haqparast in the very first round. Nasrat Haqparast looked really good, and yeah. Unfortunately, I got that pick wrong. The next fight, ladies and gentlemen, and I told you in my last breakdown video, why would I bet someone with 18 losses on their record? And I'm talking about Anthony Smith. I knew he was going to lose this fight. Khalil Rountree knocked him out in the 3rd round. He could have knocked him out earlier if he wanted to, but he did win the fight, and he did win my bet. He did win my pick, which I'm very happy for. And then the main event of the evening, ladies and gentlemen, I did not expect this fight to go the distance, but it did. It did go off 5 rounds, and my pick did win. Young uh, Song Yadong did win his fight against Chris Gutierrez. And that was the small recap for UFC Fight Night Vegas 83 Song versus Gutierrez. And now we move on to the big pay per view UFC 296 Edwards versus Covington. Two title fights. Pantoja versus Royval. That's going to be another great title fight, ladies and gentlemen. But before we give you our picks, before we give you our breakdown, you know what to do. Roll one up with your boy. We got a blunt rolled up right here already. And this is going to be some fire gas right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is some Blue Dream right here. Classic Blue Dream. I haven't had Blue Dream in a long, long time. So whatever you got, roll one up, spark one up, hit the bowl, hit a gravity. Do what you got to do. Just join us for the smoke sesh. And this card is stacked from top to bottom, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start off with the first fight of the night. Scheduled in the men's welterweight division, we have Randy Brown versus Muslim Salikhov. Randy Brown, he is 17-5, 33 years old, 6'3", 78-inch reach. Muslim Salikhov, he is 19-4, 39 years old, 5'11", 70-inch reach. Randy Brown coming in at minus 260 favorite. Muslim Salikhov plus 210 underdog. Huge step up for Muslim Salikhov. This will be his toughest test to date. Randy Brown, number 14 in the welterweight division. He's won the last 4 out of his 5 fights. He won his last fight against Wellington Turman. Lost his last fight against Jack Della Maddalena. And then 3 wins in a row before that against Francisco Trinaldo. He won against Chaos Williams. And he won against Jared Gooden. Muslim Salikhov winning the last 3 out of his 5 fights. He did lose his last fight against Nicholas Dalby. Then he won a year ago against Andre Fialho. He did lose against Jailing Liang. He won against Francisco Trinaldo. And he won against... Sorry, my computer's acting up. I apologize. He did win against Alonzo Seletsky. And I'm going with Randy Brown here. I got to go with the favorite in this fight, ladies and gentlemen. He is going to be the much younger fighter at 33 years old. So he's got a 5-year age difference. He's got a huge reach advantage, an 8-inch reach advantage. That's really significant right there. He's got about a 4-inch height advantage. Randy Brown has all the advantages in this fight. Salikhov probably has more power, possibly. Maybe even power. But I like the rude boy here. I like Randy Brown in this fight. And I think he gets it done inside the distance, knockout, TKO, or submission to win this fight against Muslim Salikhov. My confidence level is a 7 out of 10. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, scheduled in the men's heavyweight division, we have Shamil Gaziev versus Martin Buday. Both of these gentlemen are on a 5-fight winning streak in their last 5 fights. We got Shamil Gaziev undefeated at 11-0, 33 years old, 6'4", 78.5-inch reach. Martin Buday, he's 13 and 1, 32 years old, 6'4", 77-inch reach. This is going to be probably a sloppy heavyweight fight. Both of these guys are still pretty young. They fought almost the same type of competition in their UFC stint so far. Um, and I believe that Shamil is making his UFC debut against Martin Buday. He is a plus 155 underdog. Martin Buday is a minus 185 favorite. I'm not sure who to pick in this fight here, folks, because, like I said, both of these guys are on an impressive winning streak. We do have Shamil undefeated, Russian, and Martin Buday definitely has fought the tougher competition. He's got more UFC experience, so that's why he's the favorite in this fight. But I like Shamil. I like Shamil to win this fight, ladies and gentlemen. I think he's going to continue his undefeated streak. He is a pretty good heavyweight. He's pretty fast on the feet. He's got good submission skills. He's got knockout power. And I like him in this fight. Plus 155. I might make him my dog of the card. And if you want to find out who my dog of the card is, ladies and gentlemen, my official dog of the card, go over to my Twitter, TikTok, or Instagram, CJ UFC Picks. I post it on there each and every single week. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, scheduled in the men's featherweight division, we have Andre Fili versus Lucas Almeida. Andre Fili, he's 22 and 10, 33 years old, 5'11", 74-inch reach. Lucas Almeida, he's 14 and 2, 32 years old, 5'11", 71-inch reach. Andre Fili, he is coming in at minus 180 favorite. Lucas Almeida at plus 150 underdog. This is going to be a good fight, ladies and gentlemen. This is a stacked card. I love these fights right here. This is going to be a nice scrap here on the prelims. Both of these guys are pretty decent on the feet. They're pretty decent on the ground. Lucas Almeida winning the last 3 out of his 5 fights. Andre Fili only winning the 1 out of his 5 fights. He lost his last fight against Nathaniel Wood. He did win a year ago against Bill Audrio. That's a decent, solid win. Then he lost to Joe Anderson Brito. He had a draw with Daniel Pineda, and then he lost to Bryce Mitchell. Lucas Almeida losing to Pat Sabatini in his last fight. He did win against Michael Trizano. He did win against... Oh, those are not even UFC fights. Never mind. So Andre Fili definitely has the UFC fighting experience. He fought the tougher competition. They're about the same age, the same height, and Andre Fili is going to have a 3-inch reach advantage. And I think he's going to win this fight. I think he's a favorite for a reason. I think he's going to bounce back and win from his last loss, from his last performance. Give me Andre Fili to win either by submission or a decision. I just like the UFC experience, and he's fought the type of competition. He's more proven. So give me the more proven fighter, Andre Fili, to win. Confidence level is a 6.5 out of 10. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, scheduled in the men's flyweight division, we have Tagir Ulanbekov versus Cody Durden. Another good scrap here on the prelims. Tagir Ulanbekov, 14 and 2, 32 years old, 5'7", 70-inch reach. Cody Durden, he is 16-4, excuse me. 32 years old, 5'7", 67-inch reach. Tagir Ulanbekov, minus 180 favorite. Cody Durden, he is a plus 150 underdog. I don't know who to pick in this fight because I like both of these guys. Cody Durden riding a 4-fight winning streak. Tagir Ulanbekov winning the last 4 out of his 5 fights. He won his last fight against Tim Elliott. He lost against Alan Nascimento. He did win against Bruno Silva. I'm sorry, he lost to Tim Elliott and he won against Alan Nascimento. I apologize. And then Cody Durden, man, he continues to upset me. And what I mean by that is I continue to fade him and he wins his fights. He won against Jake Hadley. He won against Charles Johnson. He won against Carlos Mota and J.P. Buys. I don't know who to pick in this fight, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a close fight. Very, very close. Closer than the number says. I think this should be a pick 'em, to be honest. Tagir Ulanbekov, minus 180 favorite. Plus 150 for Cody Durden. I might seem like I'm dog chasing in this video, but I'm not dog chasing, ladies and gentlemen. I am not dog chasing whatsoever. I gotta go with Cody Durden. Just because he's on a 4-fight winning streak. He's a live junkyard dog, ladies and gentlemen. This guy will fight for your money. He will not quit. He will continue coming at you. He's got sneaky KO power, really good wrestling. And he's ranked. He's number 14 in the flyweight division. Tagir Ulanbekov, number 11. So, this is going to be a very close, good fight, ladies and gentlemen. I like this fight. Give me Cody Durden by decision. And I think he gets it done. My confidence level is a 6.5 out of 10. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, scheduled in the men's light heavyweight division, we have Alonzo Menifield versus Dustin Jacoby. Alonzo Menifield, he's 14-3, 36 years old, 6 foot even, 76-inch reach. Dustin Jacoby, 19-7, 35 years old, 6'3", 76-inch reach. This is going to be another scrap, another good fight. This fight might not go the distance. I don't think this fight is going the distance. Someone's getting finished. And I think it's going to be my knockout. Somebody's going to get knocked out. Alonzo Menifield, plus 200 underdog. Dustin Jacoby, minus 245 favorite. That line is way off. Way off. Alonzo Menifield winning his last fight against Jimmy Crute by submission. He had a draw against Jimmy Crute before that. And then he won against Misha Serkinov. He won against Oscar Mazharov. And then lost against William Knight. So he's won the last 3 out of his 5 fights with 1 draw. Dustin Jacoby winning the last 3 out of his 5 fights. He did win against Kennedy and Chensiku. I remember I did pick Dustin Jacoby to win that fight. I remember that. He lost against Azmat Murzakanov. He lost against Khalil Rountree. He won against Da Un Young. And he won against Michael Oleksiejczuk. I like Dustin Jacoby and I like Alonzo Menifield. I like both of these guys. But at plus 200 for Alonzo Menifield, give me plus 200 all day. Might make him my dog of the card. Dog number 2. Alonzo Menifield to win inside the distance, knockout, TKO, or submission. I like Alonzo Menifield's power in this fight. Dustin Jacoby has been knocked out before. Yeah, give me Alonzo Menifield all day in this fight. Confidence level is a 7. He might be my dog. He might be my dog, just like Cody Durden, to be honest. Because I like him in that fight. I really do. I honestly really do. So there's your second dog of the card. To find out who my official dog is, you know what to do. Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, CJUFC Picks. Find me on there. Give me a like, give me a follow, and subscribe. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, scheduled in the women's flyweight division, we have Casey O'Neill versus Ariane Lipski. Casey O'Neill, she's 9-1, 26 years old, 5'6", 69-inch reach. Ariane Lipski, 16-8, 29 years old, 5'6", 69-inch reach. Here is another scrap. UFC 296 is going to be a great pay-per-view. I feel like it's going to be a really good card. Casey O'Neill winning the last 4 out of her 5 fights, losing her last fight, and she's coming in at minus 210 favorite. Ariane Lipski riding a 2-fight winning streak, winning the last 3 out of her 5 fights, a plus 175 underdog. I like Casey O'Neill in this fight. She did drop the ball in her last fight to Jennifer Maia. She did lose to decision, but Jennifer Maia is a veteran in the UFC, and she's definitely fought the tougher competition. Lipski, you can call her a UFC veteran, right? She's been in the UFC for a little while now. You could say that she's fought the tougher competition, but I don't think she's as good as Jennifer Maia is. I think Casey O'Neill is definitely going to bounce back from that loss and show us why she is a future title contender in the women's flyweight division. I think she's going to get it done here, folks, either by submission or a decision. My confidence level is a 6.5 out of 10. It's going to be a good fight, a good scrap. Ariane Lipski is no joke, though, so you can't count her out. You can't count her out. I wouldn't be surprised if she did pull out the upset, but I don't think so. I don't think she's going to win this fight. I think Casey O'Neill definitely knows that she needs to win, so that way she can climb the ranks and become a champion someday. Both of these women are young. Both of these women go at it. This is going to be a fun fight, and I think she's going to win. Might stay away money line wise. Might bet the over, just depending on the line. If it's like minus 150 or under, might bet that over 2.5. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, scheduled in the men's bantamweight division, we have Cody Garbrandt versus Brian Kelleher. Cody Garbrandt, 13-5, 32 years old, 5'8", 65.5-inch reach. Brian Kelleher, he is 24-14, 37 years old, 5'6", 64-inch reach. Brian Kelleher riding a 2-fight losing streak. Cody Garbrandt winning his last fight, coming in at minus 220 favorite. Brian Kelleher is a plus 180 underdog. Cody Garbrandt, former champion. He was a top contender before, but his emotions get in the way when he's fighting. He gets too emotional for my liking. Brian Kelleher, though, riding a 2-fight losing streak. His last win was almost 2 years ago to Kevin Kroom, and I don't think that guy is in the UFC anymore. and he did win against Domingo Pilarte. I don't think he's in the UFC anymore. I gotta go with Cody Garbrandt here. He's the much younger fighter, 5 years difference. He's got a 1.5 inch reach advantage. He's taken lesser damage. I just don't trust. Excuse me. I just don't trust Cody Garbrandt's chin. He's chinny as hell. So if Cody Garbrandt gets rocked, I might be worried for those people that are gonna bet on Cody Garbrandt. I'm staying away from this fight. I am staying away from this fight because I don't like any of these guys to win. But for a picking perspective, just to pick, I'm gonna pick Cody Garbrandt to win. My confidence level is a 5.5 out of 10, and I think he gets it done by decision. Maybe a knockout. I can see that happening because Cody Garbrandt does have knockout power. So I wouldn't be surprised if he knocks out Brian Kelleher. But Brian Kelleher is a tough son of a gun. So give me Cody Garbrandt decision. 5.5 is the confidence level. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, is next fight is the bantamweight women's division. We have Irene Aldana versus Karol Rosa. Irene Aldana, 14-7, 35 years old, 5'9", 68.5-inch reach. Karol Rosa, 17-5, 28 years old, 5'5", 67.5-inch reach. Irene Aldana winning the last 3 out of her 5 fights. Same thing for Karol Rosa, winning the last 3 out of her 5 fights. Irene Aldana coming off a women's championship fight to Amanda Nunes. She did last all 5 rounds. Very impressive. So we know she's a dog. We know she has a chin. We know she can take hits. We know she will fight for your money. Karol Rosa winning her last fight against Yana Santos via split decision. So that fight could have gone either way. This is going to be a fun fight, but I think Irene Aldana has this in the bag. I think Irene Aldana is going to bounce back. She's number 5 in the division. Karol Rosa, number 18 in the division. So Irene Aldana definitely has fought the tougher competition. And I think she's going to win this fight. Probably by decision because Karol Rosa is a tough fighter. And she hasn't been finished lately. So give me Irene Aldana by decision. Confidence level is a 6.5 out of 10. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to the featured prelim fight for UFC 296. And this fight is scheduled in the men's featherweight division. We have Josh Emmett versus Bryce Mitchell. Josh Emmett, he is 18-4, 38 years old, 5'6", 70-inch reach. Bryce Mitchell, he is 16-1, 29 years old, 5'10", 70-inch reach. Josh Emmett, plus 140 underdog. Bryce Mitchell, minus 175 favorite. This is going to be a very exciting, very good fight. We all know Bryce Mitchell likes to wrestle, likes to grapple. He's got okay striking. Josh Emmett, he likes to grapple and he likes to wrestle. He's got good wrestling. He's got really good KO power. But he's almost 39 years old. And he's lost the last 2 out of his 5 fights. He lost to Yair Rodriguez and he lost to Ilia Topuria. Before that, he won against Calvin Kattar Dan Ige, and Shane Burgos. Those are very good, solid wins. Bryce Mitchell, he won his last fight against Dan Ige. He did lose to Ilia Taporia. He did win against Edson Barbosa, Andre Fili, and Charles Rosa. This is going to be a close fight. Honestly, I was going back and forth on this fight while I was doing my research, while I was doing tape, and I'm going with Bryce Mitchell to win a very close, exciting fight by decision. But, I do have to say a but. I might live bet this fight. I'm staying away for now. But if I see Bryce Mitchell trying to take this fight on the feet, trying to knock Josh Emmett out, that's not going to go well for him. I think Josh Emmett has a clear advantage on the feet. So if this fight stays on the feet, Josh Emmett wins. If Bryce Mitchell can get his wrestling going, his grappling going, then Bryce Mitchell wins. And that's exactly what it's going to happen in this fight. My confidence level is a 5.5 out of 10 for Bryce Mitchell to win that fight. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a banger. I don't expect this fight to go the distance. In the men's welterweight division, we have Vicente Luque versus Ian Machado Garry. Vicente Luque, 22-9, 32 years old, 5'11", 76-inch reach. Ian Machado Garry, undefeated at 13-0, 26 years old, 6'3", 74-inch reach. Vicente Luque, winning the last 3 out of his 5 fights. Ian Machado Garry, undefeated at 13-0. He's on a 13-fight winning streak. Vicente Luque, though, definitely has the UFC experience, fought the tougher competition. He's been in many scraps. He's been in main events before. So I like that from him. And he's going to have a 2-inch reach advantage. Ian Machado Garry is going to have the height advantage. He's definitely got more height behind him. And I don't know who to go for in this fight, to be honest. I really don't know because I like Vicente Luque. Like I said, he's got more UFC experience. He's still in his prime, only 32 years old. He is trinny, though. He can get knocked out. He can get rocked. Ian Machado Garry does have knockout power. He can finish fighters. I'm going with Ian Machado Garry, man. I think he's got more knockout power. He's the younger, fresher fighter. He's taken less damage. He's got a significant height advantage by like 4 or 5 inches. And I might bet him. I might make him my lock of the card. Minus 360. I might pay the juice on that. I might make him my lock. Find out who my official lock is on my social media platforms. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, CJUFC Picks. Follow me on there so you can know my official lock of the card. Speaking of locks, ladies and gentlemen, this next fight, scheduled in the men's lightweight division, we have Tony Ferguson versus Paddy Pimblett. Tony Ferguson, he is 25-9, 39 years old, 5'11", 76.5-inch reach. Paddy Pimblett, he's 20-3, 5'10", with a 73-inch reach. Paddy Pimblett riding a 5-fight winning streak. Tony Ferguson riding a 5-fight losing streak. Wow. He's almost 40 years old, ladies and gentlemen. Tony Ferguson, former UFC title contender. He was the boogeyman of this lightweight division. Nobody wanted to fight Tony Ferguson. Now everyone wants to fight Tony Ferguson because he's losing every single one of his fights. And the last three of his 5 fights, he's been finished. He got finished by Michael Chandler, he got finished by Nate Diaz, and he got finished by Bobby Green. Paddy Pimblett, only 28, almost 29 years old. Still young, still in his prime, still learning and evolving. He's got a lot of hype behind him. He won all of his UFC fights so far. And I think he's going to win this fight. I think Paddy Pimblett can actually finish Tony Ferguson. And I think he's going to get it done inside the distance. My confidence level is a 8.5 out of 10. Might make Paddy Pimblett my lock of the card. There's no lock for y'all guys. 2 locks right there. That's a good little parlay. Paddy Pimblett with Ian Machado Garry. That's probably a little plus money right there for you guys. Give me Paddy Pimblett to win inside the distance. I just think Tony Ferguson is washed. I think Tony Ferguson gets cut after this fight, unfortunately. And that's pretty much it for El Cucuy in the UFC. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a certified banger. This fight might not go the distance. Scheduled in the men's welterweight division. And to be honest, this fight can be a title contender fight. Whoever wins this fight might be next in line for a title fight. We have Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Shavkat Rakhmonov, undefeated at 17-0, 29 years old, 6'1", 77-inch reach. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, 17-6, 40, almost 41 years old, 6 foot even, 75-inch reach. Shavkat Rakhmonov, minus 550 favorite. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, plus 400 underdog. That's a crazy line. I think this fight should be closer than the number says. Even though Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is almost 41 years old, he still looks in his mid-30s. He's still fast. He still has knockout power. He still has that nice karate style. He's fast in there. He did win his last fight against Kevin Holland. He's won the last 3 out of his 5 fights. He did lose to Bilal Muhammad and Gilbert Burns. Before that, he won against Jeff Neal and Vicente Luque. Shavkat Rakhmonov, he's won all of his UFC fights. All of them. And I think all of them were by finish. And I think he's going to finish this fight as well. Inside the distance for Shavkat Rakhmonov. My third lock of the card is Shavkat Rakhmonov. 3 locks right there. You got Paddy Pimblett. You got Shavkat Rakhmonov. And you got Ian Machado Garry. That's a 3-leg parlay that should hit for you. I'm going to bet that parlay right after this video. Shavkat Rakhmonov, 8.5, almost a 9 out of 10 confidence level. Even though I do like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, I just think that the age factor is a little worrisome. Even though he's fought the tougher competition, he's got more UFC experience, but Shavkat Rakhmonov is the future of this welterweight division. He's a future champion, no doubt about it. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a banger. This is going to be fireworks. Do not miss this fight. Scheduled in the men's flyweight division. And this is the co-main event of the evening for UFC 296 for the UFC Flyweight Championship of the World. we have Alexander Pantoja versus Brandon Royval. This is the second time they will be fighting in the UFC. Alexander Pantoja riding a four-fight winning streak, 26 and 5, minus 175 favorite, 33 years old, 5 foot 5, 68-inch reach. Brandon Royval, three-fight winning streak, winning the last three out of his five fights, plus 145 underdog, 31 years old, 5 foot 9, 70.5-inch reach. The last time these guys fought, Alexander Pantoja did win and did submit him in their last fight. But that was 2 years ago. So this is a totally different fight. Both guys have evolved. Both guys has gotten better. Alexander Pantoja winning a straight up war with Brandon Moreno in his last fight, becoming the new UFC flyweight champion. He did win against Alex Perez. He won against Brandon Royval, what I just said, and won against Manel Kopp. He did lose against Askar Askarov. That's not a bad loss, even though Askar Askarov is not in the UFC anymore. And I think that's because of health issues for Askar Askarov. Hopefully, we see him in the UFC again in the future. Brandon Royval, Brandon Royval looking really impressive, very good in his last three fights. Three-fight winning streak, winning against Matheus Nicolau, winning against Matt Schnell, and winning against Rogerio Bontorin. He did lose against Alexander Pantoja, and he did lose against Brandon Moreno. And I think he's going to lose this fight, ladies and gentlemen. Alexander Pantoja is no joke. The dude is a stud. He's got knockout power. He's got a chin for days. He's got cardio for days. And he's got really good ground game with really good submissions. Brandon Royval, though, he ain't no joke either. He's nobody to sleep on. So I wouldn't be mad at you if you bet on Brandon Royval in this fight. But I'm not betting on Brandon Royval. I'm sticking with Alexander Pantoja. I think he's a favorite for a reason. Minus 175 ain't that bad of a line. Might actually put him in a parlay with some of those locks that I gave you earlier. So give me Alexander Pantoja and still UFC flyweight champion to win inside the distance, knockout, TKO, or submission. Most likely submission because Brandon Royval, just like his nickname, he's a dog. He's a raw dog. So yeah, give me Pantoja to win by submission. Confidence level is a 6.5, almost a 7 out of 10. Next fight, ladies and gentlemen, is scheduled to be the main event of the evening for UFC 296, scheduled in the men's UFC welterweight division for the UFC welterweight championship of the world. Before I give you my pick, before I give you my main event breakdown, make sure to subscribe. Do me a favor right now, folks. It's free. Totally free to subscribe. Totally free to like the video. It takes 2 seconds to like the video. And follow me on all social media platforms. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, CJUFC Picks. I'm all over the place. Just make sure to like the video, subscribe, comment on the video, show me all of the support. I very, very much appreciate it. I'm like 5 subscribers away from reaching 400 subscribers. So help me get to my goal, 400 subscribers before the end of the year. I really much appreciate it and thank you so much. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we gotta smoke. We gotta smoke for this one. We definitely gotta smoke for this one. We have the reigning and defending UFC welterweight champion Leon Edwards going against Kobe Chaos Covington. Leon Edwards, 21 and 3, 32 years old, 6'2", 74-inch reach. Kobe Covington, 17 and 3, 35 years old, 5'11", 72-inch reach. Leon Edwards winning the last 4 out of his 5 fights. Kobe Covington winning the last 3 out of his 5 fights. Leon Edwards minus 145 favorite. Kobe Covington plus 120 underdog. We haven't seen Kobe Covington fight in almost 2 years. That's a red flag for me. But he did win his last fight against Jorge Masvidal. Leon Edwards winning the last 3 out of his 4 of his 5 fights. He won against Kamaru Usman and winning the belt off Kamaru Usman. He won against Nate Diaz and he won against Rafael dos Anjos. Kobe Covington winning against Jorge Masvidal, losing against Kamaru Usman, winning against Tyron Woodley, losing against Kamaru Usman, and then winning against Robbie Lawler. Man, this is going to be a very close, very fun fight. This fight might go all 5 rounds. Kobe Covington, even though he's been off for 2 years, he's only 35 years old, so not too old. Leon Edwards, 32 years old. Kobe Covington definitely has the better wrestling, better cardio, better grappling. Leon Edwards, probably more power. He's been more active, and they fought around the same type of competition level. I'm biased here, folks. I really like Kobe Covington because he's entertaining. He can talk some crap. He can get into your head, and I think he's gonna get into Leon Edwards' head in this fight. We all know UFC, especially Dana White, loves Kobe Covington. They give him that special Dana White privilege. I mean, come on, let's be honest. What has Kobe Covington done to earn this title shot? There can be somebody else in this spot. We know that Dana White wants Kobe Covington to win. If this fight goes to a decision and it's a close fight, I promise you, and I can guarantee you, that Kobe Covington is winning this fight. The only way that Leon Edwards wins this fight is by finishing Kobe Covington by knockout, TKO, or submission. I gotta pick Kobe Covington to win, and I got him to win by decision. Confidence level is a 6.5 out of 10. Not betting this fight moneyline wise. This is a prop special fight galore. I love this fight for prop specials. The over makes sense to me, and I also like the spread in this fight for Kobe Covington. So yeah, I think Kobe Covington can win a couple rounds, and I think he can win this fight. But I wouldn't be surprised. I will not be surprised. I will not be disappointed if Leon Edwards wins this fight inside the distance. That's the only way I can see him winning this fight. Because if this fight goes to the judges, bet your bottom dollar that Kobe Covington is walking out and new UFC welterweight champion. And that was the breakdown. That was the last breakdown of the year for CJ UFC picks. for UFC 296, Edwards versus Covington, two title fights. Brandon Royval versus Alexander Pantoja. That's going to be a war. That's going to be a great fight. A huge stacked card. Do not miss it. And do me all a favor right now, folks. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to comment on the video. Do all the good things. And make sure to support this channel. It's all free. It does me a huge favor. And I very much appreciate it. Thank you so much. We'll see you next year. Have a great new year. Have a great holiday. Enjoy your families. Be safe. Be healthy. And we'll see you in 2024. Have a great night, folks.